When you step into the ring with Antonio Brown, you're doomed. He doesn't attack you with vicious blows or relentless endurance. No, he eats you from within. He infects the most basic cellular structures of your being, and then he spreads. The cancer is inoperable. It will force your organs to rot, and you'll die a painful death. Many cities have learned of the dangers of AB on a franchise, but there are those that don't heed their warning. Oh my god. They let Antonio Brown run a football team. One of the biggest cancers in football's recent memory has been allowed to own a professional football franchise. Albany, prepare yourselves. Your empire will crumble before your very eyes. It will make you big for the likes of Dan Snyder. It was a nice run you guys had. Back-to-back champions in the National Arena League, not to mention the final champion in the first iteration of the AFL. They were a proud, if young, franchise. A city with a rich Arena League tradition. The name Touchdown Eddie Brown should ring some bells for those up there. One of the best players in franchise history. And he also sired Antonio, for better or worse. He'd be the general manager of this new operation. This reuniting of father and son calls for celebration. Telling head coach Tom Manass to fuck off. 10 days before the season starts. He had won back-to-back championships. It's apparently not good enough for AB, the self-proclaimed sole owner of the team. My quota says otherwise. But Antonio probably threw a bag of dicks at him, so he said fuck it and went home. Quota was so pissed that he sold his ownership share to AB for $1 out of protest. Save that dollar for later, because Antonio's got some fans to schmooze with on the opening field before opening day. Literally right before kickoff. A strong chance he also said this to authorities as well. He had an arrest warrant out on him for $30,000 in unpaid child support. Antonio Brown not paying people? A shocking revelation. Now imagine that happening to an entire team. Because that's what happened. Players and coaches complaining that they hadn't been paid in at least a week, even playing a match against the Carolina Cobras without pay. They dare challenge Antonio Brown? He's a man of character. This is merely a direct deposit issue. All that shit that happened on the team bus, those people have been dealt with. Locking them out of their hotel rooms will do the trick. One Scott happened to be the reigning league MVP, the league leader in passing, and 2 defensive captains, but this will lead to glorious harmony throughout the team.
You come over here and talk about it. You're gonna be over there yelling about it. Come over here and talk about it. Why stand over there?
Forgot to mention that interim coach Damon Ware was also booted. God forbid someone want compensation for work. The real answer at head coach is a testament to the genius of Antonio Brown. Tom Manass. If you brought him back after all this time, why did you tell him to fuck off to begin with? Probably due to Brown's evolution into Kanye's multiple personality stage. Despite now owning 95% of the team, Antonio Brown doesn't own the team at all, apparently. It's run by a group called Antonio El Allah Express Trust Enterprise. Loose translation, Antonio the God. You should take his word seriously. He's declared himself a foreign national.
Right.
This was all conveniently ignoring the fact that the team transformed from a back-to-back champion to a champion and losing. At first, they were tight games. Those tight games would slowly become blowouts. Total blowouts. Turns out cutting your best players in a roster carousel isn't good for chemistry. AB would make his voice heard by shitting on the team and his players on Twitter. On both his and the Albany Empire's account. And then shit on the league itself. On the league's live chat during the game stream. Perfect reason to tell Tom Manass to fuck off again. Yes, Antonio, it's all his fault. The new victim, head coach, is John Odino, head coach of LaSalle Institute and formerly of Union College. Problem was he never actually accepted the gig. He politely declined. They settled for his underling in Pete Porcelli. He's a former Firebird, which works well for about a week. They got blown the fuck out at home again. Antonio Brown was supposed to play in this game, but like him in a public pool, he didn't dress. About as ugly as Albany's performance. Which means another coach needs to go to the guillotine. Sure, Porcelli would be pissed that he never got a chance here, but he technically did. He would have been demoted to a line coach. And AB countered by saying he never fired him and he was still with the team, apparently. And to the next victim, Terrence Foster, 20-year coaching veteran and current defensive coordinator of the Iowa Barnstormers. Before he too smartly backed out for smelling a rat. They now had to settle for Maurice Leggett. He was literally on the roster a week prior. True experience and skill, just like Antonio Brown. A man of grace being kicked out of a Holiday Inn for excessive noise and marijuana use.
Just got kicked out the Holiday Inn Marriott. It's out of trespassing. I've been here for like 60 days. It's just a part of the movie of trying to be a young black entrepreneur, young owner.
Antonio El Ala is a man of many beings. Antonio is the one that will be playing for the Empire, while AB was the one that saved an empire from ruin by buying it. As another stroke of executive genius, he would then blame the fans for lack of support. Classy. What's better than a lack of fans? None of them. The NAL had enough of brown shit and kicked the Empire out of the damn league. Their season lost to the abyss of endless head coaches and a roster core destroyed by attrition. And you know how this happened, kids? By refusing to pay his goddamn bills to the league. His dues weren't paid in May and his April payments being challenged. And he seriously expects the Albany Empire to get in the AFL? He was in a league that had trouble finding stable owners. And AB somehow one-upped that with Days of Our Steelers on steroids. Antonio Brown didn't just lay a blueprint for organizational mismanagement, he sped-run through it. He near single-handedly turned a back-to-back champion into a complete disgrace in less than 4 months. Is anyone really shocked by this outcome? If you lie with dogs, don't be shocked if you awaken infested with fleas. The only thing I'm surprised by is how quickly it happened. Now players, employees, and countless others are now without work, and has successfully pissed off yet another city. But AB's never cared for anyone except himself. They really allowed him to run a football team. Jesus Christ.